folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Papelbon sets. At the belt. The pitch. Swing and a miss. It's over. The Red Sox have swept the Colorado Rockies. The Red Sox are the world champions of baseball for 2007.
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the world championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 world championships. Can you believe it?
Welcome back to the Fenway Faithful Podcast. I am your host, Michael Willard. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Stephen Griffin and Jonathan Cobb. The Red Sox have been playing better baseball as of late. They're 7-11, last in the AL East, and a bottom 5 team in baseball. If this continues, we might have to turn into a Boston Celtics podcast. Let's just take a moment here and realize how amazing it is to be a Boston sports fan. Celtics and Bruins playoffs coming up this weekend. Let's go. Hopefully they both go on a run. Patriots went to the Super Bowl, and the draft's coming up. Those are the only 2 Patriot storylines we are going to be going over. So being a Red Sox fan right now may suck, but we have a whole summer of baseball, and we have a lot of sports to distract us with. How are y'all feeling tonight?
We are feeling fantastic. Boston sports are almost at the highest. If only the Red Sox could figure out how to score any runs. It's only a matter of who predicted this. Somebody predicted this piss-poor offense.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
No. All right, so to kick off tonight's episode, we're going to do first pitch as normal. And today we're going to talk about the Wally head that has seemingly made its return and the brand new second base celebration that many have coined from Roman Anthony's old TikTok videos. So, we got a lot to unpack today, but to start off with first pitch, Cobb, how are we feeling about the subtle return of the Wally head and the brand new TikTok celebrations at second base?
There is nothing subtle about that Wally head. That is loud, obnoxious, and we look like absolute tool bags. My question is, do we have any shame? Where does it end? Us 3 were at a Red Sox game last week when the Red Sox were down 3 runs in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Wilson Contreras hit a ball to the Mass Ave. Again, we're only 3 strikes away from this game ending. And he comes around home, gets into the dugout, and has this humongous Wally head on. Like he's celebrating a home run, down 2 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. I was appalled. I was embarrassed by it. The second base celebration, I saw them do it yesterday, Tuesday's game, where we lost 6-0 to the Twins. We are late in the game, down 6 runs, and we are flapping our junk out on second base. Where does it end? It's truly embarrassing. This is the kind of stuff that drives me up a wall. This team is completely unprofessional. This team is lacking any clear leadership. If we had any veteran leadership in the locker room, if David Ortiz was here, he would slap some sense into anybody that tries whipping around their junk on second base down 6 runs.
So do you not want any celebration? Because I feel like every team has to have some type of celebration. It doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. You just want nothing. They always just stand there and look all depressed, low vibes.
Celebrations should be shut off if you're below 500 or losing the game. Shut off. Okay. Shut up and put your head down. Sorry.
Wow. Old man take.
I know, that's the fun police take, but that's how I truly feel.
Willard, how do you feel?
So I like the Wally head. I just don't like how they brought it into this year's team. Because last year was new, as a new thing. It was exciting. Never seen anything like that before. I loved it. This year, it just wasn't ready. Like, they didn't have it ready for opening day. We didn't see it until like the game we went to when they were down, and it was just kind of sad. Like if you already didn't use it for the first couple series, might as well just wait till tomorrow. Don't put it on his head when we're down 3 and the game's about to end. But if we use it coming into the year, I would have liked it like a little more. It's just kind of ironic because this whole team itself doesn't seem like they are ready for the season at all. So it's kind of funny that the Wally head wasn't ready for the first 2 series to use. They hit homers in those first 2 series and we just didn't see it.
Not many.
I think the second base Sally is funny. But I don't like the forced celebrations. Like the past couple of years, they found their celebration halfway through the year, like the airplane because of the trip to Minnesota. But it's kind of funny. But I don't like the force of. I don't know. The vibes on this team are very off. I don't know if it's because half the team was on the WBC during spring training, so there wasn't really much time to get. I don't know, but any chemistry going, but the vibes are down. I mean, you got Duran flipping off a fan. That wouldn't slide any other year, like with any other actual leader. The team's getting booed left and right. The sell the team chants were so loud when we were there. It was happening. After anything bad happened, you're hearing it. Just like Gray is coming out saying he doesn't feel like himself. You got Wilson Contreras saying he wants to beat up the other team. It's just... Can we ever have a normal start to the season? Like, ever? Stevie, what do you think?
Well, I guess my opinion... I knew my opinion was not going to be greatly perceived by Cobb, but maybe not by Willard either. I actually kind of like bringing back the Wally head. I get how every year... Yeah, right. I get how every year you should have a new celebration, new anything to keep things new. But I don't know. I kind of like... the home run celebrations. I feel like it's become a token part of the team. Obviously, back in 2021, the laundry basket push through the dugout, I was a big fan of that. It creates character. It gives them some life. You know, we can sit here and point out negatives about many different things, but, you know, I like it for now. However, maybe this is where we'll find some common ground. Jarren Duran just the other night when he was wearing the Wally hat for 10 minutes after hitting a home run. Yeah, great job. Like, no, really, good job. Do you need to be wearing it for 10 minutes when you're down by
11-3 was the score. 11-3 was the score. And Garrett Crochet had just had the worst start of his entire career, and he has to look down the dugout and see Jarren Duran wearing a Wally head.
Yeah, if I was Crochet, that would drive me insane. Like, yeah, high five him, he hit a home run. It takes you got to start somewhere, but to wear it for 10 minutes, should he have been doing that? Absolutely not. But honestly, I'm even more horrified at Nesson for routinely showing it. All right, if he wants to wear a Wally head and Crochet wants to smack him in the face, like I don't want to see that. I want to watch the game. Like I didn't tune in to watch Duran wear a Wally head all night.
I gotta
in terms of what?
I gotta say props to Nesson for showing for 3 batters after Duran still wearing the Wally head. Props to them for keeping that. They knew what they were doing.
At that point, I had to laugh. It was comedic. It was very comedic. How many times they went back and showed it. It's just like
my blood was boiling.
Yeah.
Rough week for Duran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll get to all that. In terms of the celebration, I do kind of like it because, you know, Roman Anthony is an up-and-coming Boston star. He kind of needs an identity, as all Boston stars do. And I kind of like how, you know, the team is doing something Roman Anthony themed. But I do kind of agree that, like, a lot of celebrations in the past, you know, kind of were encapsulated due to a certain thing, not just something they made up ahead of time. But honestly, I like it. I'm all for, you know, Anthony getting some of the spotlight. I think he deserves it. I think it's going to make him play better. So, again, I know this isn't well-perceived opinions by the two of you, but I don't hate it. But this team also has got to win.
Stevie, I hope them making fun of his TikTok dance makes him play better.
Steve, I have a question for you. Do you think a well-led team is swinging their junk around and putting helmets on when they're down 8 runs? Do you think that is a team with strong leadership?
I don't believe so. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, there's no clear leadership on this team. I mean, but I think that's beyond, whether someone chooses to wear a Wally head or not. I mean, I think that's a completely different issue. But yeah, I mean, who do you think who's even the leader of this team?
That is the issue at hand. There is no leader on this team. The inmates are running the prison. We are allowed to do whatever we want. I'm so confused at what Alex Cora is doing or is not doing, because it seems like he's just letting these guys do whatever they want, and there's no repercussions whatsoever. Last week, we saw Wilson Contreras go to the media and say he was going to take somebody out on the Brewers if they hit him again. Just this week, we saw Jarren Duran flip off a fan. This team has zero control. If there was any leadership, both from the manager and from the veteran team, they would take those guys aside and tell them to figure it out. But there is not that guy, and that is the bigger thing. That is the bigger issue, and if you don't have any central leadership, the whole season could be gone. The whole season could falter and go completely awry.
I think they're trying. I think they're trying to make Wilson Contreras the leader. They made those Bowser shirts for him the other day. They're all saying how great he is. And then the Milwaukee series when he wants to go fight someone, it kind of brought life in him. They took 2 out of 3 out of that series. We'll get into that later. But I feel like they're trying to force him to be the leader. He's not a kind of a leader you want to follow. It's kind of a chaotic leader. And the one thing I thought was funny was, like, he said he wanted to fight them the next time anything happened. He slides and cleats David Hamilton. And I was like, if there's a fight there, I don't know if our team is backing him up, because there's probably still a lot of people on our team that are buddies with David Hamilton. If that ended up being a fight, it seems like he's trying to light the boys up, be a leader, and I don't know if anyone actually wants to follow it. It's very chaotic, and he hasn't been here for long.
That is my issue with him starting a fight. Maybe in the middle of the season, if you're in a playoff push, your team's in a slump, and you're a guy who's been around for a while, you can maybe say, okay, I think this team might need a fight. I think this team might need a spark. But yeah, Wilson Contreras, who's been on the team for a matter of weeks, who obviously it's his first year. Who is he? Like, I know he's a world champion. I know he's a true veteran. I know he's been around. But who is he in this situation to say, the second week of the season, I'm going to go start a fight with the other team? And it seems like that was a fight for himself. It wasn't for the team. Again, a different circumstance later in the year. If you're in a playoff push, if your team's in a slump, I get it. A team needs to wake up sometimes. But who is he to do this? He has no authority to do this. Again, it's for himself. And this is a guy who we want to be the leader of this team. And I wouldn't want the leader of my team going to the media saying, I'm going to go fight everyone. Like, what kind of an example is that?
He didn't say he wanted to fight them. He said he was going to take them out, whatever that means. Take them out.
Could be worse.
It's definitely selfish on his part, because, like, this beef with the Brewers happened when he was with Chicago and when he was with St. Louis. Has nothing to do with us, and now he's dragging us into it to try to spark the boys up, spark the offense up. It just did not work at all.
Well, I think I view this as a bigger issue than you guys do, because right now Wilson Contreras is in a leadership position on this team, and we now have a selfish, hot-headed, completely out of control veteran that feels that he has some sort of power over all of these young guys on this team, and that is a recipe for disaster.
I also see a problem having a leader like this be a guy that probably isn't going to be around for a while. He's on a 2-year contract, and he hasn't, it's tough to back him up when he hasn't been here for long, but he's also not going to be here for that long. He's probably going to be done here after his 2 years, and it's just hard to get behind a leader when he's not going to be here for long. We saw how that worked last year. We all clung to Bregman. He was our leader, and it was working out great. But then when he leaves in a year, it leaves us in a complete this team's a mess now because Bregman left, and we clung to him so hard. So we need Roman, we need Marcel, we need someone who's going to be here long term to step up and be a leader, because this short term leadership stuff, It's bad.
We are recording on Wednesday, April 15th. Red Sox have been 6-6 since the last time we were with you guys. Since then, we've seen Wilson Contreras almost take out a team in the NL Central, whatever that means. We watched Garrett Crochet do his best Jordan Hicks impression. And I think we've seen Caleb Durbin get 1 or 2 hits. I think. It's been about 2 weeks, so that's about the rate that he's on. He's on about a hit a week. We went 1-2 against San Diego. Then we took 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee and St. Louis. And we just finished up this afternoon against Minnesota, dropping 2 out of 3 to them. To recap these series, we're going to go over 3 studs and 3 duds from the last 2 weeks. So, Stevie, take it away with our 3 studs.
All right. So even though we were kind of ripping him for the Milwaukee series, right after the Milwaukee series, one stud has been Wilson Contreras in terms of hitting. So at the time of filming this, again, it's April 15th. He was taken out of the game and did not play today. Hopefully it's nothing serious related, and we're presuming that he will be okay. But concretely, this is the veteran bat that we needed this offseason. And when there's so much inexperience on this team, this is a guy you want to have up, you want to be relying on, and the past few series, he's proven to be that guy. The last 7 games, he's hitting .391 with 7 RBIs, and that included a 4-hit game in the series finale against St. Louis. Just 10 days ago, his batting average on the season was .161. Now it's all the way up to .298. My next stud is going to be Cedar Rafaela. He's also on a hot streak himself, hitting .333 in the last 7 games. Obviously, he has fantastic defense that we've all been familiar with at this point. But what's really sticking out to me and what I really like seeing from him is he looks much more patient at the plate, much more mature at the plate. And I think that's a great sign because that's really what he's been missing the past few seasons. And seeing him more patient, more ready to hit is a great sign, and he's starting to get the results that he needs. Finally, Connolly Early. I mean, we just saw him pitch today. This guy truly is starting to look like he is a part of the future of this Red Sox rotation. He has a 2.29 ERA on the season, the best by a pretty significant margin for all of our starters, and he has not allowed more than 2 runs in any outing. Now, I am going to be honest. At the beginning of the season, I did advocate for him to start the year in AAA as a def move. I retract that statement. I admit I was wrong. I love seeing him up here. He's one of my favorite players on the team. I hope he's here for a long time, and he is really proving himself. It's a tough market to play in Boston, especially as a pitcher. The fans give it to you, but he looks great out there. He looks like a veteran. It's not what you're always getting from a 24-year-old. So obviously he has had a fantastic outing today. He threw 6 innings, which was a season high, only allowed 2 hits and 2 walks while striking out 5. And I really don't think I'm getting ahead of myself here. I really think down the line this season, we could see him getting a Roman Anthony type of extension. I mean, I did not assume that at the beginning of the year. I was like, give him another chance, make sure he's the guy who we saw he was last year. But I really think he's starting to prove himself. And give it a few years' time, I think he's going to be a top-of-the-league pitcher. And that might be a conversation for this year. Is it time to lock this guy up for the long term?
All right, now I'm going to head into my duds for the week. There's a lot of duds I could go into, but I'm going to stick with 3 because I could call this whole team a dud. But the 3 I chose was Garrett Crochet, Jarren Duran, and Carlos Narvaez. Now, I think it's obvious why I chose Crochet. I had to put him on here. His start before this was good at home against Milwaukee, but then his start against Minnesota, we'll get into the stats a little bit later in the show, was the worst, I think the worst pitching performance I've ever seen in Boston, and it might even be worse than Jordan Hicks, which is saying a lot. And it's definitely his worst start of his career. And if we're not winning with him on the mound, we're screwed. The second one, Jarren Duran, for multiple reasons. His play and his antics, flipping off a fan. It's a rough week for him. But in this stretch, the week since we last recorded, he's batting 167. That's only 7 hits in 10 games, 1 homer, 8 RBIs. So I guess he's driving in some runs, but he's just not hitting the ball well. He played in majority of the games over the stretch. He only didn't play in 2 games in the Milwaukee series. He played in every other game. And when we have this outfield logjam and you're performing like this isn't good for you. That's going to leave you the odd man out and not get much playing time. He's not getting on base much, only the 10 hits and 55 at bats. So that means he's only stealing 2 bags in that stretch. You want him to get on base to take advantage of that speed. And for someone you hyped up so much this offseason, saying he's an MVP type guy, and you didn't trade him because you wanted to keep a guy like that, you need way more than what he's been giving you. He's been extremely disappointing. And then also Carlos Narvaez. I had high hopes for him to have a nice sophomore year. In this stretch, he's hitting 125. That's only 4 hits in 9 games. No homers, no RBIs. He's getting outplayed by Connor Wong. Just can't happen.
Has anybody noticed that Carlos Narvaez's defense stinks? He's got a rocket of an arm, but if I watch one more catcher's interference from him, I'm going to lose it. When will you learn? I mean, he allows these really nitpicky pass balls, too, that they're giving to pitchers as wild pitches, but really are completely the fault of Carlos Narvaez. I am very disappointed with how he's played defensively.
Yeah, I mean, he had a throw in this series, kind of just overthrew it, multiple pass balls. He was hyped up as this great defensive catcher that can also give you some offense, and he's not giving you either. And I can't believe I'm saying that Connor Wong's actually playing better. After last year, I wanted him long gone, and now you kind of need to keep him because he's not bad defensively, and he's been swinging the bat pretty decently.
Narvaez has a cannon, and I'm starting to think that that's it for his defensive repertoire.
Yeah. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, I mean, Wong should be starting until Narvaez figures this out. I mean, Wong, when he's in, has actually been solid. I mean, he had a fantastic start to the year. Obviously, it's a smaller sample size. But, I mean, we've all ripped Connor Wong. We all wanted him long gone. We all couldn't believe he's still on the team. But he has found success here over the years. I mean, and when he's giving you something and Narvaez is really giving you nothing, just give it to Wong. And if Narvaez really wants a spot back, he'll prove it. But up until that happens, I want Wong to have more reps.
Do you think there's something else happening behind the scenes? Because at the beginning of the season, he got benched for some reason that Alex Cora didn't want to talk about. He seemed very frustrated on the bench. Maybe something behind the scenes happening because he's just not looked himself. He's not played like himself at all.
I think this is Carlos Narvaez. I think this is just who he is. I don't think he's some diamond in the rough all-star catcher. I think he's a below-average league hitter with a rocket of an arm, and he's going to bounce between teams. He's going to play 8 years in the bigs, and that's going to be kind of it. He really isn't that ceiling of a borderline all-star catcher. I really don't think he's anywhere close. And if he's not that, then he's just another guy. So there's really no sense in dealing with any garbage that comes with him if there is.
I mean, yeah, he's so hyped up, and it was because of a first half last year that he had that was good. Then he got injured and tried playing through the injury. He was horrible in the back half, wasn't good in the playoffs, and now we're just seeing more bad out of him. So yeah, maybe he's just not as good as we all thought he was.
I hold out hope that he can be a greater than 750 OPS kind of catcher, and in which case he is a net positive behind the plate offensively. So if he
everyone
can do
calls
that,
him, yeah, and everyone calls him the captain. But do you see any leadership qualities out of him? And he's not backing up with his play. Like I feel like we can't call him the captain. We can't give him the same nickname we were giving Veritek. It's just not even close.
He's a pretty bad captain if he is.
Yeah.
And if he's getting benched for reasons Cora doesn't want to talk about, he's definitely not a captain. I mean, good knows what's going on behind the scenes, but you're not benching your captain for reasons you're not going to tell the media. So, no, absolutely not.
Kind of thinking about these series, are you guys surprised with the 500 outcome? I feel like I'm not the past couple years, besides last year. I just feel like this team was 500 in everything, record, just everything 500. I mean, we lost the series versus San Diego, which kind of scares me because that means we can't play up to our to like higher competition. I mean, you gave us some hope beating Milwaukee, and then I feel like St. Louis should have been a sweep. They're not good. Those are teams you need to take advantage of. I mean, Stevie was saying it last week. You need to take advantage of this stretch of games because then the next stretch of games is going to be a lot harder. And we won the series versus St. Louis, but I feel like that should have been an easy sweep. We made Dustin May look like a Cy Young. We can't be doing that. And then Minnesota is the biggest surprise here. I did not think they were this good. Like, they just knew what was coming all the time. They made Crochet and Sonny Gray look horrible. I mean, today they didn't look great, but like, are they a top team in the AL? Because I predicted a sweep, and I feel like an idiot for saying that. I really did not think they were that good, and I thought we could have swept both series, but I mean, it's concerning if we can't beat these teams that are not good, and then maybe just Minnesota's better than I thought.
I think we were all underselling Minnesota, and I'm sure the entire league was as well. I mean, you see that lineup, that is a bunch of nobodies. That is Byron Buxton and a bunch of nobodies. Although, shout out Austin Martin. This team just rakes. I think they're going to stick around. I hope that this is a team that adds at the deadline because they are a fun team. They hit a bunch of home runs. I would love to see a team like Minnesota take over that AL Central.
They are just a team that always rakes. Like, the years that they were making the playoffs and they were good, they were hitting a ton of homers. They are usually a really fun team to watch when they're actually good. And it stinks because they sold so much at the deadline last year. But maybe they're actually good this year. Add some pieces to that. They keep Joe Ryan. They might actually be scary in the AL. The state of the Red Sox lineup is something to talk about. It seems like every day on Twitter, a new lineup card comes out and there's something to say about it. So we all came up with one hot take about this lineup and what we think should change going ahead. So what do you guys think about this lineup?
So if I'm going to give the take that I'm giving to you right now, if myself a month before heard this, he'd be petrified because I've been so against what I'm about to say for such a long time, but the time has finally come. So I love Cedar Rafaela in the 9 spot. One, it reminds me of Jackie Bradley Jr. and the 2018 World Series team, like a pure defensive center fielder. Secondly, I think it's a wave of the future for a 9-hitter to not be your worst hitter, because in some ways you can have 2 leadoff hitters, essentially. That's the way that I like to look at it. And I think on a perfect team, Cedar Rafaela is a perfect 9-hitter, and I have never wanted to change that. Now is a little bit different because this team this year is, I don't even know what to say anymore. So again, as much as I'd like him in that spot, they need to move him up. Not just up a couple spots. I think for now he needs to be in that number 2 spot. Putting Caleb Durbin, your worst player, batting second is not going to cut it. If this team even wants to be semi-competitive, even if that's competing for 4th place in the AL East, Caleb Durbin cannot be your everyday number 2 hitter. That's ridiculous. Like, I mean, how many teams, even last place teams, have a guy batting 120 second? It's just, that can't fly. So, while I don't think this is a good long-term move, as I said, because I think Rafaela strives lower in the order, I think his stats, the lower he moves down, are a little bit better. But based on this current team, based on the roster construction, and based on the fact that he's been hitting in the 300s for most of the season thus far and has really been one of our most consistent bats, I think this is the move to make right now. Obviously, the days of Trevor Story in the 2-hole are seemingly over. He's had success in the 5-hole. It never really made sense to me why he was in the 2-hole. I understand the whole issue this roster has with left-handed batters, and you don't want to bat 4 guys in a row batting lefty. But for right now, I think the right move to make is to move Cedar Rafaela up to second. Again, I don't want this to be his permanent spot for the foreseeable future, but based on how poorly this team has been constructed, and based off the fact that your worst hitter cannot be batting second, hitting 120, this is a move that needs to happen.
I completely agree, Stevie. Cedar Rafaela should play 162 games. He's been one of our best bats, and even when he's not hitting, he makes an impact defensively. And yesterday, Tuesday, I believe the 14th, we lost to the Minnesota Twins 6-0, and Cedar Rafaela was on the bench. So we could get an outfield of Anthony, Duran, Willier with Yoshida at DH. That is a problem. Cedar Rafaela needs to be in the lineup 162. And the issue is bigger than just Cedar Rafaela. The issue is all of these platoons. The platoons have got to end. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa should be the most hated person in Boston, because every single at-bat that he takes is one less for Marcelo Meyer to develop. And Marcelo Meyer is the future of this team. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is just in the way. The outfield, trying to fit 5 outfielders into 3 spots is not going to work. I don't know why Alex Cora insists on doing his best to make it work, but it's not going to. This offense is lacking talent, and we know that. But when you are constantly moving guys in and out of the lineup, not only are we now lacking talent, we're lacking any rhythm and any consistency whatsoever. And just one other thing, Christian Campbell, I don't know if you guys remember that name. He was a prospect about last year, and we all had really high hopes for him. But Christian Campbell, he's a full-time outfielder now. We would have to trade half of our major league outfielders for him to even get a spot on the major league team. He's not even anywhere close to sniffing a major league at-bat because of how jam-packed our outfield is. We would need to trade 2 or more outfielders if we ever want Christian Campbell to play in the big leagues again. Have we completely given up on him? I know that's a different debate, but all that I'm saying is that the logjam in the outfield and trying to fix it with platoons is a recipe for disaster. Now, the issue is that the only way to fix the platoons is going to be, of course, making a difficult decision and trading at least 1 outfielder, hopefully 2. It also means we have to put Isaiah Kiner-Falefa into the Artemis 2 shuttle and send him back to the moon and never to come back. And potentially, and now this might be indicative of a bigger issue, we might need to move on from Alex Cora. And the reason I say that is that falling in love with the platoons is an Alex Cora thing. We know he loves it. And if we're going to try to develop Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony to be everyday major league players, they cannot be platooning. So if we are going to take the tools away from Alex Cora to platoon the way he wants, we are essentially telling Alex Cora we don't want him to manage the way that he sees fit. And therefore, if we're not going to give him full creative control on how to use this roster, then at that point he's not a fit to be manager. You know, I'm a fan of Alex Cora, but these platoons have got to end. There's no way to get a consistent offense. I know this time last year there were some concerns with the offense, but we were able to say, don't worry, Roman Anthony is in Worcester. He's on the way. And you know what? We were right. Roman Anthony was as advertised last year. He gave us that boost that we needed. But we don't have that this year. There is nobody waiting. This is all that we have. It's like the Patriots motto from this past year. We all we got, we all we need. Well, you know, all we got is not enough this year for the 2026 Red Sox.
I was agreeing with you until you brought up firing Cora. I don't know if we go that far. That's kind of crazy hot take.
Just a discussion. If we want to get rid of the platoons, like I said, then essentially what we're saying is, Alex Cora, don't do your job as you want. That's all that I mean.
I just wish Breslow could grow a pair and actually make decisions, so then Cora doesn't have to platoon all these guys if he just makes a decision on one of the outfielders. I mean, like, Yoshida's one of our best hitters right now, so then it's hard to get him out of the lineup. But then you also need to play Rafaela, Duran, like, all of them need to be every day, so they do need to make a decision on one of the outfielders. So I agree with you on that. I don't know about getting rid of Cora. I wish I went first on this because I have a similar take to Stevens with Ceddanne Rafaela moving up in the lineup. But I'm a little bit different on it. I want to move Roman Anthony down a little bit. So we did this with Story. We moved Story out of the 2 spot and moved him down to the 5, and he has seen crazy success. In the 2 spot, 42 plate appearances, he's batting 119 and a 333 OPS, 17 strikeouts. But in the 5 spot, he had 21 at-bats, and he's batting 300. I forgot to update this. It says 4 RBIs. He had 5 RBIs today, so that's 9 now. Lower in the lineup. I know he was 4 today. So lower than the 2 spot. He has 9 RBIs total. And he has his 1 walk on the season in the 5 spot. So you saw success with moving Trevor Story down. And Roman Anthony hasn't started the year off the hottest. So I think moving him down, getting him a different look in the lineup could potentially help him. I don't mean like down below 6. I just want him either to the 3, 4, 5 spot. I'm more of a traditionalist, I feel like, with my lineups. I want my speed and on-base guys at the top of the lineup and to have our best hitters, our power hitters, in the 3, 4, and 5 spots. So I want Ceddanne Rafaela at my leadoff spot, Wilson Contreras at my 2, Roman at 3, Willier at 4, Story at 5. Roman in the leadoff spot this year is batting 217 and a 629 OPS, 19 strikeouts. Hasn't been great. But with runners in scoring position, last year he hit 323 with a 951 OPS. He's one of our best hitters. I want him in the 3 or 4 spot. I want guys to get on base. Because right now, if he's in the leadoff spot, there's really no one on base for him to hit anyone in. Because the bottom of our lineup is so bad, there's no one on base for him to hit. So I just feel like it's a waste to have someone who's as good as Roman Anthony with runners in scoring position to be wasted at the top, and he's also struggling, so move him down. Contreras and Abreu have been our best hitters. So have Contreras hit in the 2 spot so he gets on base for Roman Anthony and for Willie Abreu to drive in those runs. I mean, Contreras hitting 298, 11 RBIs. Abreu, 10 RBIs. He's hitting 333. Some of our best hitters. Rafaela in April batting 324, 333 with no one on base. So if he was leading off, no one's on base, he's hitting well. Has a 900 OPS with no one on. And then in the 2 spot today, he had a hit, walk, and 2 runs. So I think he could be very successful out of the 1 or 2 spot. I'd rather him up in the 1 spot. Just have more of a traditional lineup. And we've only scored in the first inning 6 out of the 18 games this year. So something needs to change. And I think the top of the lineup needs to be better so that we get off to better starts in these games, because so many games we just start off flat, not scoring any, just doing 1, 2, 3, or only facing 4 batters. Like, we just usually get nothing. So if we have an on-base guy like Rafaela, and then have our 3 best hitters hit right after him, I think that'll be a lot better of a lineup. And it's not a bunch of lefties. It's a righty, righty, lefty, lefty, righty with Story in the 5 spot. So it's not like a bunch of lefties. And also, I hate that they're trying to make Jarren Duran a 3 or 4 hitter. He is not a power hitter, and he's been horrible this year. You can't have him as a 3-4 hitter. I want my on-base guys at the top, and then my power best hitters 3-4, not Jarren Duran. You can move him down the line. I don't want Caleb Durbin or Trevor Story in my 2 spot. It's just bad.
I completely agree with you on the Roman Anthony take. I'm a traditionalist as well when it comes to building a lineup. I want my best hitter hitting 3. I want my best hitter having runners on, potentially in the first inning, in order to kickstart the ball game. Now, the nerds like to say that your best hitter should hit first, because over 162, they'll get somewhere between 30 to 40 more plate appearances. Well, I want to take those nerds and stuff them in a locker. Or I want them to watch the first inning of these Red Sox games and just see how quickly these pitchers mow through our lineup.
All right, next we're going to do our series upcoming segment. We have a big month ahead for Red Sox baseball, a lot of top-tier opponents, playoff teams, and AL East rivals. So starting this Friday, the Detroit Tigers come to town for the first 4-game series of the 2026 season. The Tigers come in at 8-9, just under a 500 team, but are obviously led by reigning Cy Young Tariq Skubal and Framber Valdez, both of whom will be pitching in this series against the Red Sox. Valdez will face off against Crochet on Sunday at 1 p.m. Skubal gets the second game of the series. Right after that, the Bronx Bombers come to town for the first time this season after playing the Red Sox in the 2025 wild card. We'll have Luis Gil against Connolly Early, Max Fried against Ranger Suarez, and then probably our biggest enemy, Cam Schlitter, taking on Brian Bayo. After that, the Baltimore Orioles, Toronto Blue Jays series will come after. Blue Jays are very banged up. Obviously, Trey Yesavage, Shane Bieber, Jose Barrios, Addison Barger, George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, Cody Ponce, he looks like he's in rough condition, and Anthony Santander all have IL stints right now. So, big month coming up. Cobb, what is your take on the series upcoming?
So I'm very much looking forward to the Tigers and the Yankees series. When I watch the Yankees series, what I want to see is how competitive we are, and more importantly, how competitive our lineup is. We're going to be going up against a Yankee lineup that, of course, is Judge, Ben Rice, who's now a superstar apparently, Giancarlo Stanton, who's playing well, Cody Bellinger is still around, still playing well, and we have Duran, Story, and Anthony. It feels like an uneven matchup. I hope it's not, but in the game of baseball, anybody can win on any given night. So I hope that we have a competitive lineup for that series, and we can go toe-to-toe with that team. I don't know if we can, but that's what I'm going to be watching for. And the one pitching matchup that I might not even be able to watch this game because it's just going to make me so sick to my stomach is Ranger Suarez versus Max Fried. Max Fried. This bona fide ace. How many times does a bona fide ace get to free agency? Not often. But don't worry. John Henry was interested. John Henry came in second place for Max Fried. So don't forget that. Don't forget when you are forced to watch Ranger Suarez throwing 91 miles per hour, and then you get to see Max Fried. Those are two pitchers that are both free agent signings, both got 9-figure contracts. Those are two completely different leagues that they are pitching in. So that game is going to make me very frustrated to see. I hope to gosh that we just absolutely destroy Max Fried and everything that I'm saying goes to crap. But I have a bad feeling that Max Fried is just that guy. He's always been that guy. He will continue to be that guy. And instead, we got the budget version in Ranger Suarez, who is just another guy.
We also face another interest of ours in free agency in Pete Alonso in that Orioles series. Just shows that we're the interest kings of baseball. We are always interested in these top free agents. We don't get them, and now we get to watch two of them in these this upcoming week. So that's going to be a tough watch. But I'm also excited for these series. It's going to be a real test for us to see if we can compete with some of the top teams in the AL, like the Tigers, Yankees, and Blue Jays, all playoff teams last year. The Yankees knocked us out of the playoffs, and the Blue Jays went to the World Series. So these are going to be some real tests, even though the Blue Jays are mostly banged up. So I don't know how well they're going to be. They're fourth. They're right above us in the division, fourth place at the time of recording, 7-11. But yeah, these pitching matchups, I'm really hoping Crochet figures it out. I don't know if he was tipping against Minnesota or what was happening. He only went 55 pitches in that start against Minnesota. 8 of 14 balls were hit. over 95 miles an hour, a 57% hard hit rate, only 3 whiffs. Then what was it? 11 runs allowed in that. So I'm really hoping he figures it out, because I think Crochet versus Valdez could be one of the best pitching matchups of the season. We also get it sucks. It's Skubal versus Bayo. That I kind of wanted a better matchup for that. Instead we get Ranger Suarez versus Casey Mize. So gross. But this Detroit team is really good pitching wise. So I'm terrified for this series. Have been bad offensively. They come in 8th in the MLB in ERA. They have a really good pitching staff. So I think we're going to have a ton of strikeouts in this series, and it's going to be really hard to get any offense going. This Yankee series is going to be interesting, because I feel like every year we play the Yankees, we're expected to lose, we're always the worst team, and then we end up beating them in that series, and it kind of builds momentum for the rest of the year. So I really hope we could get this out of the way early, beat them in a series that we're not supposed to win, and build momentum off of that, because this team so desperately needs something to build momentum off of. So beating the Yankees is always a big one. We get a lot of firsts in the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry with Ranger and with Contreras, and Caleb Durbin, who is a former Yankee prospect. I'm a little terrified for Schlittler. He owns the Red Sox. He eliminated us, went 8 innings and 12 strikeouts in that start. So I'm hoping we could get to him. I hate him. And then the Blue Jays, just they're hurt. The Orioles, see if they could be better than what they were last year. If you have a good season, it's how you do against your division. You can't be bad against your division and expect to make the playoffs. We went 34-29 against the division last year, which is the best we've done against our division in the last 4 or 5 years, since 2021. And it was our only playoff appearance since 2021 was last year. And it's because we did good against our division. We had 9 wins against the Yankees and 10 against the Rays. And it's just, if you struggle against your division, you're not going to do good. So this is a huge stretch of games. You need to do good against the AL East this year if you want to make the playoffs, especially with how close the division race is going to be. Every game against the Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles, and even the Rays all matter.
Yeah, and this is time for business. I mean, of our next 29 games over the next month or so, 23 of those games are against a team who either A, made the playoffs last season or are an AL East opponent, and there's some overlap between the two. Those other 6 games, maybe you think we'll catch a break somewhere. Those 6 games, the Houston Astros, who just smoked us the other week and have been one of the most consistent franchises of our lifetime, and the Atlanta Braves, who are likely a strong World Series favorite. This is really the time for the Red Sox to show the city and the rest of the league who they are and whether or not they can compete with the big dogs in this league. Our next series is home in a 4-game series against the Tigers, a team that really seemingly came out of nowhere a few years ago, but has been very steady ever since. They are playing around 500 ball this season, but they have plenty of proven MLB talent. Subsequently, after that series, obviously the Yankees come to town for the first time this season. They started very well, but they are on a bit of a cold streak. Since this is our first time playing them, since the wild card in the fall, it's really time for the Red Sox over the next month to prove to everyone who they can be, because this really could be the most important stretch of the year. There's no easy nights the next month or so, and if they even want to be semi-competitive and not blow everything up in the middle of the summer at the trade deadline, they really got to prove it now. Because, yeah, it's a tough month, but if you really want to be that team, if you really want to make a statement, if you want to put the league on notice, this is how you do it. So there was some trouble these first few weeks. It sucks, but we move on. If they can make a statement the next month or so, that's going to take them a long way.
And we somehow find an offense that's worse than the Red Sox. It's the Yankees. Their average is 27th in the league. They're hitting .213 as a team, 687 OPS. So I don't know. Maybe if our pitching could show up in this series, but it's kind of hard to find an offense that's worse than the Red Sox.
As we close out tonight's episode, we're going to do our personal favorite segment, the one and only Jordan Hicks Award. If you're like me, you watched one of the most confusing performances last season when Jordan Hicks came to town, the absolute flamethrower, but would still get shelled almost every pitch. So, as I'm sure you know by now, each episode will highlight one person who we think best encapsulates just the pure hatred and horrible feelings we have towards one person or one thing in general. So, let's get right into it. Who are we giving our Jordan Hicks Award to this week?
My second Jordan Hicks Award for the 2026 season. Now, I kind of might have introduced this earlier in the episode, but congratulations, Isaiah Kiner Falefa. You have won my Jordan Hicks Award. Whenever I watch you play baseball, I get angry. Now, I get angry because not only because you're taking at-bats away from Marcelo Meyer, but because you are not a Major League bat, and you haven't been for more than half a decade. It makes it even more frustrating having Andrew Monasterio on this roster because they are the same person. The only hope that I have, when I put my head on the pillow at night, my last thought throughout the day, is that Isaiah Kiner Falefa is temporary. This is not forever. He will be gone soon because Romy Gonzalez is coming back from a shoulder injury, and when he comes back, we will need to get rid of a right-handed hitting infielder. So my hope is that Isaiah Kiner Falefa is gone by July 1st. But honestly, I'm coming to the realization that Romy Gonzalez with one shoulder might be better than IKF with two. So, IKF, congratulations. You suck.
Great pick. And I just love how today he had two infield singles, like didn't even like leave the infield, and he was reacting at first like he just hit the game-winning hit of the World Series. I'm just like, you're such a dork.
I would too. I would too. If I was that bad at baseball and I got a major league hit, I'd be that fired up as well.
First hits of the season, didn't even leave the infield. Yeah, come on. He's trying to hype up the bench. You can't get hype over that. My pick, it's again not someone on the team like I did last week. It's Nesson. This is a big-time company, and they should have working baseball games for me to watch. I was trying to watch the Cardinals game, and I'm watching from the dugout because only one camera's working, and I didn't even see the home run Contreras hit. I didn't even see the homer Bayo hit. I just watched Bayo get pissed off on the mound. It's like, you're such a big company. You got to figure it out. And then today, in the Minnesota game, the 8th inning, it just... I don't know. It's just like the thing was getting possessed. Like it wasn't working, so I couldn't watch the end of the game. It's like, figure it out, Nesson. I have one honorable mention though that I wanted to just bring up that I also wanted to crap on a little bit. Shout out all the golf fans out there. Bryson DeChambeau claims he has a rivalry with Rory McIlroy and gets beaten not just 1 year, but 2 years in a row. And this time it was laughable. Last year at least was a little bit close. This year was laughable. So Rory's now a 2-time champ, and Bryson shot 6 over and didn't even make the cut. So it reminds me of the Joel Embiid quote when he's like, it's not even a rivalry with Boston. They just beat us every time. It's like that. Get out of live golf and go play real golf. So those are my, 2 picks for Jordan Hicks Award.
Love that.
Love it as well. So, my Jordan Hicks Award for the week is Jarren Duran. Not necessarily because of his offensive performance. Obviously, it's been putrid, and he may deserve it just for that reason. But it's for what he did the other night. Flipping off a fan. You're in an MLB stadium, a televised game, people of all ages watching, and that's how you choose to behave. You know, if this was one fringe scenario, maybe it's understandable. I mean, athletes are humans too. They have natural emotions. They have natural reactions, just like any of us. But this is becoming such a repetitive issue, and it's pure immaturity. I mean, obviously, we all know the notorious tennis racket incident from a few years ago. I think that's what he's most known for, but so many more times more than that. He's given it back to the fans, even his rookie and sophomore year. He's yelling at umpires. He's yelling all over the field. It's just not how you behave. And to cap it off, I mean, to my knowledge, he didn't do anything like this time. But he's even given it back to the media a couple times. And you guys, and I'm sure many of my friends watching this, know that I'm a big fan of how you talk to the media. And I remember years ago when he gives it back to the media, says, I'd like to see you guys try it. And I'm sure in this scenario, if he got called out for flipping off fans, he'd turn it back on us. It's immaturity. It's not how you should behave. It's one thing to be frustrated. It's one thing if it's one scenario, but this is becoming way too repetitive, and I'm sick of it. You're a professional athlete. You got to contain yourself better. I mean, I'm obviously never going to be an MLB player, but even as a high school player, people would be yelling stuff at me, and like I wasn't going to go start yelling at them and saying do whatever. I mean, just that needs to stop. But regardless, he's batting 170, so he's got to pull it together in other ways, but he is my Jordan Hicks Player of the Week.
If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us vent about the Red Sox once again. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Spotify. Follow on Instagram. Follow on Twitter. We've been getting so many clips out recently. And go Bruins. Woo! Go Celtics. And more importantly, go Sox. See you later.
Woo!